bitches just revise history. I'm interested in psychics, people that can tell the future, and I've come across the Jamison twins, psychic twins.
And they apparently predicted the events of September 11th, 2001. They apparently made these predictions in 1999.
And their predictions were amazingly accurate. They knew the year it was going to happen. They knew where it was going to happen. They knew who was going to do it. They knew how many people was going to die. They knew that it was going to be aircraft hijackings, and they even knew the airlines were going to have aircraft hijacked. So, amazing level of detail in these predictions.
We were both sitting in different rooms channeling on various things about the future of the new millennium. And we both realized when we compared our notes an hour or so later that we had printed World Trade Center attacks 2001, 5,000 perish, Bin Laden, American, and it was all there, and we were pretty shocked. Not one person predicted this other than us.
So, what an amazing level of detail in those predictions. And if those predictions really were made in 1999 with that level of detail, then that would be amazing and probably evidence of psychic ability.
But the footage you just saw was taken from the Dr. Keith show, broadcast in 2006. So we just see the twins' recollection of how it transpired and what they say they predicted. I decided, because this would be truly amazing if these guys really did make these predictions, I tried to track down the original predictions and was able to find it, because they'd made these predictions on the Art Bell radio program. It's quite a famous radio program, and yep, I was able to get hold of the audio from their predictions. So let's listen to that.
We are seeing various terrorist attacks on federal government, federal buildings.
Yeah, particularly South Carolina or Georgia.
Really?
By July 2002, and also the New York Trade Center, the World Trade Center in 2002.
Really?
With a terrorist attack, and yeah, so that's
we're seeing school shootings.
Whoa! Those bitches just revised history. Did you hear that?
For the World Trade Center in 2002.
World Trade Center attacks 2001.
Yeah, so not only have they revised history on the dates, I mean, they revised history on the detail. Where is the detail? Where is the, Bin Laden? Where is, hijacked planes? I mean, the details in the actual recording are actually incorrect. They talk about federal buildings in Georgia, federal buildings in South Carolina, and the dates are all wrong. And then they go, and the details is with a terrorist attack. Not any details about hijackings, not any details about Osama bin Laden, not any details about the number of people being killed. And they might say, oh, we had those details, we just didn't reveal them on the show. Well, that's bullshit too, because you said at the end of the little clip there, and that's about it. In other words, you don't have any more details. But then suddenly in 2006, when you're trying to make money, sell books, sell more psychic readings, you suddenly got the goddamn details. Yeah, psychic might NAS.
Now,
Yes, it is.
America was listening to you when you made a prediction about the devastation of September 11th. So take me back to the day you made that prediction. How did it come about? What were you feeling or thinking, and why did you decide that you'd share it?
Well, it was an amazing day. It was an international radio show, millions of listeners. That day we tuned in and we predicted, we sat writing next to each other.
Now, in the same show, in the same Dr. Keith show, they can't even get their story straight about how it came about that they made the predictions about 9/11. Listen to this. They've got two different stories within the same show within a few minutes of each other.
We were both sitting in different rooms, and we both realized when we compared our notes an hour or so later, we sat writing next to each other.
So yeah, in one version of the story, it was an hour or so before the show, and they're in separate rooms writing, doing their automatic writing, and then they compared notes later and they found out that it all matched and they had all the predictions about 9/11, all the details. And in the other story, they were sitting down next to each other doing the writing. So which is it? Well, I don't think either of those happened. The reason why they can't get their story straight is because this never happened. This story that they had all the details, it never ever happened because they're lying bitches.
Times where, what do you do when you're possessed of the knowledge that 5,000 people, was your prediction, would perish? How do you contain that knowledge? How do you decide what to do with it?
We were terrified, and we said, can we even share this tonight? Will it be like War of the Worlds where people go into a panic? What actually happened was people pretty much ignored it, which was, I think, the saddest thing.
You did put it up on your website. How many months before were we at that point?
It was in November of 1999. 2 years.
No, you didn't put it up on your website. A little bit of research proves this to be another one of your lies. For a start, if you listen to the end of the radio program, the Art Bell radio program, you learn from the twins themselves that at the time that Art Bell radio program with the 9/11 so-called predictions in it, at that time they had no website. They were still in the process of bringing a website online.
Well, do you ladies have any plans to get on the internet?
We've been on and off a couple times. We just we're still getting the website to get back on.
When we have the web number, we will give it to you. The web
Address.
Yes.
We will give it to you, Art.
So it is coming back then.
Yeah,
in about a week.
So yeah, in November 1999, they have no website. So when did their website get up and running? Well, we don't know for absolute certain, but you can check the Internet Archive, and you can see in the Internet Archive that the first capture for the psychictwins.com website is April the 7th, 2000. So their website came online somewhere between November 1999 and April the 7th, 2000.
So let's try and use the Internet Archive to see if we can find whether and when the Psychic Twins published the information about 9/11, the hijackings and the planes, the terrorists, the Bin Laden. So we can look at their What's New page. Nothing on there. This is back in early 2000. You can look at the Contacting Us page. There's nothing on there about terrorist attacks on New York. And you can look at the Readings page and see, nothing in there, except that you can see that it costs you $200 to speak to them for an hour on the phone. So nothing in there about the terrorist attacks. What's on About Us? About Us, this is in October the 4th, 2000. We can see here they're talking about their Art Bell's radio program. This is the November 99 program, the one that they reportedly predicted 9/11 on. We can see here though, back in October 2000, no mention on this page about the about Bin Laden or hijacked aircraft or buildings attacked in Washington. So not on this page, and we can go fast forwarding through this page, because this page looks like this would be the place you might have that information. But again, so this is January 25th, 2001. Nothing about Bin Laden and stuff on here. And this is February 2001. No change, just the same stuff. And then we've got February 2001. Page looks the same. I mean, interesting, this page has got a claim they predicted some shooting in Seattle, Washington, that they claim happened in November 1999, but if you actually listen to the radio program, they are predicting it for December 1999. So yeah, no match there really either. They're claiming they've got a match, but again they revise history about what they actually said. So, yeah. And then finally in October the 24th, 2001, suddenly we have all the details about Bin Laden and Washington DC. So, but October the 24th, 2001, that is not a prediction of September 11th, because October is after September. So, yeah, they didn't put their predictions of the terrorist attacks on their website before it happened. They did it after they happened.
Now you can claim that you did put it on there and that the FBI or the CIA made you take it down.
Now, the FBI also, why did the FBI close down your website?
Well, they shut down every website that had our prediction on it.
But that's another lie which you can also see by looking at the Internet Archive, because if you look at the Internet Archive, you can see that the Psychic Twins website was saved 252 times between April 7th, 2000 and December the 6th, 2013. And there's a nice graph of all the captures. And you can see it's steadily captured. So there's no period in that time where the CIA or the FBI made you take your website down. That's more lies. Yeah, and to this day they're still pushing this lie. I mean, this is from their website today in December 28th, 2013. The Psychic Twins did predict the simultaneous terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center and Washington DC by Bin Laden. Well, as we've just seen, they did no such thing. They didn't predict simultaneous attacks. They didn't predict Washington DC. They said it was Georgia and South Carolina. So their lies continue. And I quote from their website, December 28, 2013, the Psychic Twins were able to locate at least 5 different documents of their channeled writing which specifically foretold these events of 9/11 for the year 2001. Well, if that's the case, why did they say on their radio program 2002? More lies. There is no documentation showing they specifically foretold these events for 2001.
So I love how their mention of the attacks on federal buildings in Georgia and South Carolina by 2002 and the attacks on the World Trade Center in 2002 is now revised to a prediction of simultaneous attacks on Washington and New York. But in the audio of the actual show you can clearly hear how these things are meant to be separate events, with the attacks on buildings happening by 2002 and attacks on the WTC in 2002. They lie so much, it's unbelievable.
So they got the year wrong. They didn't get the fact that it was going to be attacked in Washington DC. They didn't get the number of deaths correct. Lots of things they didn't get. But they did predict the attack on the World Trade Center, right? Even though they got the wrong year. So that's impressive, right? Well, I mean, it's your call as to whether you find that impressive. But what I think happened on that radio program was, in that 1 hour and 20 minutes they were on the radio program, they spoke a lot of crap. And then, after the events of 9/11, they tried to retrofit their mention of the World Trade Center into the 9/11 attacks. So, I mean, I don't know if that's that impressive. I counted 28 things that they said on that 1999 program, 28 things that we could score as a hit or a miss 14 years later. And when you look at that, they predicted 3 things that you could score as a hit. So that's actually a 90% failure rate. The 3 things they predicted correctly, they predicted that the Y2K bug wouldn't be a big deal. They predicted that George Bush would defeat Al Gore. And they also predicted that there would be a school shooting in Houston. It actually took 10 years for there to be a school shooting in Houston, in a town which has a city that has 2 million people. So, I mean, I don't know that this is very psychic. So, I mean, they mentioned a building in New York City that had already been the subject of a terrorist attack in 1993, and they guessed that maybe it might be subject to another terrorist attack. It's your call whether you think that's psychic or not. But if they are psychic, then why do they get 90% of the things they say wrong? I'm going to play a bit of an excerpt now of some of the things they did get wrong on that 1999 podcast, so you can judge, whether they seem to be psychic or not.
The upcoming disasters that you've chronicled.
Okay, just briefly, are you talking about natural disasters?
Well, natural and unnatural.
And unnatural. Okay. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of natural disasters in terms of earthquakes and hurricanes, blizzards and earthquakes coming up, especially within the next 10 to 12 years. A lot of activity like that because of the global warming. We are seeing various terrorist attacks on federal government, federal buildings.
Particularly South Carolina or Georgia.
Really?
By July 2002, and also the New York Trade Center, the World Trade Center in 2002.
Really?
With a terrorist attack, and so that's
we're seeing school shootings. December 99 in Washington, Detroit in May 2001, Texas in about 6 months, where 6 will die.
Yeah.
Also Houston, there were school shootings in Houston, Tennessee, Alabama in 2002, Alabama, Boston and Omaha. We're also seeing Nebraska in 7 years, sorry.
So you're seeing a lot of that, I'm afraid.
Yes, a tremendous amount of activity with the school shootings, school violence.
There's an assassination attempt in 2004 or 6, and again 2017 or 18, a very high likelihood of endangerment to the president, but I don't feel it'll be successful.
Okay.
What do you foresee happening May 3rd of 2000 when 7 planets line up in the sign of Taurus?
Okay, good question. Around May of 2000, we saw a possible stock market dive, a possible crash.
It's a very chaotic time, Marty.
Huh.
May 3rd is a powerful day. Astrologically, I understand. We feel that the Antichrist will actually take form of 6 different bodies.
Oh, really?
6 different human beings.
Huh.
Yeah, within the next, say, 80, 85 years.
Wow.
There will be a great deal of ET contact in the year 2012, we're feeling. A great deal of communication at that point. I also feel that the Roswell issue will be made more plain around that time, around the same time, 2012, 2013.
Right.
She wants to know if Quebec will, in fact, separate from the rest of Canada.
Oh, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think so. I'm getting a yes right now, and I think it could happen within a year.
Within a year?
Yeah.
Within 1 year, sir, and the answer is yes.
1 year?
Yes.
I'm very surprised.
Funny you're calling from Tennessee, because we did see a race riot in Tennessee in the year 2001.
A race riot in Tennessee?
Yes.
In 2001?
Yeah, we're seeing a stock market crash.
Oh, when?
Well, it's pretty clear around 2004, 2005 at the latest.
Yeah.
And actually, astrology does support this in some of my research. So.
And I believe that most of the energy that we do receive from UFOs, higher intelligence, is benevolent. We don't see it as particularly harmful or evil. Some we do, yes, certainly, but I think by and large we will see a fairly friendly communication overall.
There have been accounts of abductions that don't sound really friendly.
No, those are not. And we've experienced abduction as well. But we do feel that communication with UFOs is going to step up greatly within the next 7 years. So it'll be almost commonplace. But we also see very positive things like an AIDS cure in 2002.
Oh.
And a cancer cure, especially for breast cancer by 2007, for example, a breast cancer drug breakthrough in 2003. So many positive things as well.
Wait a minute now. Cancer when?
Cancer cure, hopefully 60% by 2008, and breast cancer controlled or prevented by 2007.